What's up, guys? This is Rise and welcome to another video. Today I'm showcasing a team that has kept me floating around the 27 to 2900s, just shy of legend. I actually got to 2984 at my highest with this team and then fell a little bit short of legend. Still have not quite hit it yet this season, but this team is really strong in my opinion and has the ability to not just dominate in positive alignment type matchups, but also overcome negative alignment based matchups with its strategy around it. This is Goodra, Empoleon, and Shadow STEELIX. And Shadow STEELIX can be one of the most toxic and annoying Pokemon to go against with its sheer oppressive nature of Dragon Tail, Psychic Fangs, and its ability to debuff and just power through matchups that it has no business winning. So in this set, you're going to see a few of those situations, and Shadow STEELIX is going to act as the safe swap with this team. So this is a very classic ABB type team, meaning if you don't catch a counter user in the lead, you almost always want to safe swap the STEELIX to lure out the counter user to try and neutralize it and clear up the Empoleon in the back. So this is my toxic Great League remix team. If you guys enjoy this content, feel free to drop a like on the video, subscribe to the channel if you're new. We're slowly and surely approaching that 50K subscribers mark, so that would be cool to hit maybe in the next several months or so. But we start things off with Goodra into DD. I've been seeing a lot of DD leads lately. I don't know who made the Deoxys defense video, but yeah, I've been seeing a ton of Deoxys defense leads lately in the Great League remix. And look at this, we see Shadow A9 counter swap, and this looks really good, right? But this match actually goes sideways, and on this channel I show you guys the highlights. I also show you the lowlights sometimes. So this looks amazing, right? We get the huge farm down, Empoleon is going to fire off double hydro cannon. We get both shields. I'm like, okay, we got a double shield advantage. This looks great. But I'm thinking, what could be in the back if he really wanted to get rid of that Empoleon? Maybe it's double charm. And double charm could be a little bit scary for STEELIX. So I do put up a shield because I don't know what's in the back, and sometimes a 2-on-1 is better. He is going to swap, and it is double charm. I'm like, okay, this should be fine, right? This should be fine. So I'm going to throw the Psychic Fangs here. That Deoxys does still have energy because it got that big farm down on the excuse me, the Empoleon. So I am going to over farm here because what I don't want to happen is I didn't want to have a situation where I knock it out, I get farm down, and then I simply get psycho boosted and lose. So I over farm. But then check this out, Deoxys throws energy. So I do force Deoxys to throw energy. But then, look at this. It's like a race, and they get there one turn before me. They live with 1 HP in a dream. And I think I maybe could have overfarmed one more on my STEELIX against the Granbull. So I would have had a crunch loaded. So a pretty embarrassing loss there to start things off. That was our first game ever with this team. And yeah, Goodra, Empoleon, STEELIX, double steal, losing to double charm. You can roast me in the comments, but we may or may not get some revenge later on in this set. So we will see how things transpire. And you see the pause. I'm like, how did I lose that? I'm just trying to go in my mind, like, what went wrong there? But that's one unfortunate thing with Shadow STEELIX is, although it's a steel type, it has a dragon fast move, so it actually doesn't do that great against fairies. For example, against Shadow Alolan Ninetales, if it's running Powder Snow, that is a very dominant matchup in my opinion for Shadow Alolan Ninetales, because you can basically take a move and then double Weather Ball plus the Powder Snow damage knocks out. So that is like an extremely dominant matchup for Alolan Ninetales, unless you're running, of course, like a surprise Heavy Slam, or maybe like Thunder Fang or Iron Tail or something. But Iron Tail is like one of the worst fast attacks in the game. Searching for opponents here. And this 2900 range. Lots of people have hit Legend already. And I've taken some days off to go Battle League. And, you know, it might be a good time to talk about. Like, yeah, I had some rough days on stream of the Go Battle League, and honestly, like, I've just taken a little bit of a break from playing my sets because I felt like it was kind of getting to me. You know, I was experiencing some lag, and then, you know, sometimes, especially when you're playing on stream in front of hundreds of people, and sometimes you might have to deal with external factors. You might get in your head a little bit, and you might start stressing a little bit, and I felt like I was not playing at my best. So I've taken a little bit of time just to kind of relax from the Go Battle League, and, you know, if I'm not the first or the second or the 10th streamer to hit Legend this season, that's all right, because we'll get there, and it's all good in the hood. So we are going up against Crescent Angels here. Gligar against Argudra. We are going to take the first because we know Gligar typically is going to opt to go for double Aerial Ace in this matchup. Crescent Angel's an amazing player, one of the best in the world. I elect to take the move and just go for shield advantage here. Crescent Angels comes in with the Jellicent. I'm liking this situation because I'm up a shield. I can get off my crunch here first, which is pretty nice. And I am also able to get the defense fell. I'm going to put up a shield here, and I'm just staying in completely. I could have potentially gone for a catch there on Empoleon. That would have been nice. But instead, I elect to 2 shield and Dragon Tail down with STEELIX. So this is really going to come down to what's in the back. And what is going to be in the back? Let's see. It's going to be a Poliwrath, okay? So this is scary, to say the least. But we played this ideally based on the circumstance. And check this out. Gligar's not actually going to reach the dig. I was aware of Gligar's energy. I knew it wasn't going to get to the dig, so I'm able to farm down. I come out with double Psychic Fangs, but unfortunately, this counter that goes through is going to knock out. So I only get off 1 Psychic Fangs. So this is going to be really close. Poliwrath chunking away at Empoleon. I just have to hope they don't have Dynamic Punch. Hopefully it's Scald, Icy Wind. What's this going to be? It's going to be the Scald. We tank the Scald. We get off the Drill Peck, and this is going to knock out. So this is the insanity of the Go Battle League. Game 1, on paper, we had double Steel backline against double Fairy backline, and we lost. Game 2, we had double Steel backline against Poliwrath and a Jellicent. Like, like on paper, we just get hard countered by the backline, and we win. So, like, I don't know, man. Craziness. Craziness, craziness. The iced coffee is back. That was on your bingo cards this video. And we are that was a discussion topic in my Discord recently. That was probably the most active it was in a while when I was talking about, like, my iced coffee habit. Okay, Carbink lead. We save swap STEELIX in this scenario, and they counter swap Victory Bell, which tells me this is probably the Carbink double Grass, double Razor Leaf line, and this is pretty good. So this is one thing that I really like about this team, if you decide to run it, is it's really good against the Carbink double Razor Leaf line, because they're pretty much forced to either stay or go into one of their Razor Leafers, in which case STEELIX can just flip it. Even if it's Tropius, STEELIX can just flip that by expending an extra shield usually, because they're going to be locked in and you can debuff it, and then you're just going to overly oppress it with your Dragon Tail damage and the ability to outpace it. So once you flip switch and you get Empoleon locked on Carbink and then a Dragon locked on the second Razor Leafer, it's pretty much game over. So we just let this go. Empoleon on Carbink. We stay in for a little bit for whatever reason, and Dragon on Razor Leafer. And he's going to play this out just to make our lives uncomfortable. But we are just going to stay in. And I think I bait here, if I remember correctly. Yeah, I bait, because why not? I feel like it was a safe bait, because even if it calls it, I feel like I'm in a fine spot. And he calls it like a savage. Now I go for the Thunder Punch. And of course, opponent making me look silly. Calls it correctly. Maybe he's watching the stream. I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. I'm just playing. We get to the Aqua Tail anyway. And sometimes when you think about, like, baiting versus non-baiting, you also just want to factor in, like, even if he calls this bait, does it does it matter too much? It's kind of like the risk versus reward, right? Sometimes it's too risky to bait, in my opinion. Sometimes, like, you don't want to aerial ace bait a Bastiodon, because if they call it, like, you might just lose, right? So sometimes it might be too risky to bait. Sometimes you have to maybe make that risk to try and win the game. That time I felt like even if he called the Aqua Tail, I was still in a pretty convincing position. So we get the win there. And it's so frustrating losing to those that's even more toxic than my team. We're titling this team my toxic STEELIX team, but that team's that's like threefold as toxic as my team, I gotta say. Next battle. Who we got? Who's going to challenge the STEELIX line? I think we're 3-1 this set. Is that right? One battle to go. Cost bent 23. Magnezone. So I would consider this good for Goodra. We resist the electric damage. And gonna get off the Aqua Tail here after 5 Volt switches. So Zone is gonna be 1 away from the double wild charge. I catch on STEELIX and I get the Dragon Tail through, which is pretty nice. Wild charge connects. Cospent comes in with Mandibuzz. So this is a nice read by him. Coming with Mandibuzz, knowing that it walls our energy. And, yeah. There's not a whole lot STEELIX can do here. I'm just going for Psychic Fangs, because in my head, I'm thinking, like, ramping up the Dragon Tail damage might be more efficient than going for Crunch here. I don't know. He's going to let this go, and I'm thinking, like, I don't know what I'm thinking at this point. Come in Goodra. Maybe I should have come in Empoleon here. But the problem is... Oh, okay. He gives up Switch. Do I call this? No. I shield and is a wild charge. That's good. What comes back in? Is it going to be the Mandibuzz or something else? It's going to be Mandibuzz. We're going to fire off this Thunder Punch here and knock it out. In comes Poliwrath. And that's just going to be a good game, unfortunately. So a nice read by Cospent coming in Mandibuzz against STEELIX rather than Poliwrath. So normally STEELIX will lure out the Poliwrath. Cospent's normally in my Twitch stream, so he might have known the team, which allowed him to make the read, or maybe he just made the read on his own, which was a tough one there. But GG's to him. Very well played. A trainer from Greece, my favorite country to visit, a country that I would love to go back to someday, and that I hold near and dear to my heart. And that was our set with our toxic STEELIX team. We get a little Squovid as a reward. We get like 7 points, whatever that was. I forget what elo we started at there. But a nice little 3-2 with this team. I think it's very strong, but you do have to... It is one of those teams where you do kind of have to swap the STEELIX to make it work effectively, to utilize it correctly, because if you just stay in a neutral matchup with Goodra and then there's like a Poliwrath or something in the back line, it does put you in jeopardy of getting swept. The exception to that is, like, let's say you stay in a neutral matchup with Goodra in the lead, then let's say you soft lose that, you can farm something down with STEELIX, and then hopefully STEELIX will still lure out the counter user, and then you can, like, chip at it enough where then Empoleon can just steel wing it down, take a few counters, and then Empoleon might have a positive matchup against whatever that third Pokemon is. So don't always have to swap STEELIX, but normally the way it functions is if you don't catch like a counter user or a positive lead, you want to swap the STEELIX. One thing I also found that helped me with this team better is I was losing to a lot of Gligar leads because I was losing Switch and just like staying in. If you are able to catch the second Aerial Ace on STEELIX, that is massive in that game, because normally what happens is you throw Aqua Tail, they shield, they throw Aerial Ace, you let it go, and then they're kind of forced to throw Aerial Ace before your second Aqua Tail. So they're either going to have to throw it after like 10 wing attacks or 11 wing attacks. So if you're able to catch that second Aerial Ace against Gligar lead with this team, that's also a massive advantage. Little bit of some insider tricks there with this squad. If you enjoyed this video, feel free to leave a like, subscribe to the channel. If you're new around here, comment down below. All comments are appreciated. And all that said, thank you so much for watching. I hope to see you in the next one. Peace.